you have Bucchero going back to Keeneland to defend his title in the Woodford on Sunday. And talk about his last race, the Turf Monster, when he was fifth but beaten on like 2 1/4 lengths.
He's sort of a tough luck horse in a lot of his races. That race, he didn't break quite as well as he usually does from the gate, and he was back towards the end of the field, and then had to be checked. And basically, I think, I don't know if it shows on the chart, but he was back 8 or 9 lengths and made up a ton of ground in the stretch. He was very wide. Thoroughgraph number-wise, rag number-wise, got a really good number from the trip that he had, and I think with a better trip, he would have been right there. So it seems like every year, this time of year, he gets good, and that's what happened last year. He won his Indiana bred race up at Indiana. He won the Woodford, and he was 4th in the Breeders' Cup and got beat a length. So hopefully history will repeat itself somewhat. He'll win the Woodford again, and then be back in the Breeders' Cup.
Talk about the whole experience of Royal Ascot.
Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The people over there treated us absolutely wonderful. So we stabled in Newmarket. It was just amazing. Obviously, Royal Ascot on race day was just something who knows if we'll ever get to do again. As for the horse-wise, thought he ran. We all thought he finished 4th. He finished 5th actually, but those are some of those top 2 are 2 of the top 2 turf sprinters in the world. But compared to last year, we had a race last year this time. He won an Indiana bred stake about 3 weeks earlier, and then we went in the Woodford. But this year, we gave him the time off after England. He did have a race, and it just seems to be doing really, really well right now. There's not really much else I can say about how he's doing. He seems to be rounding into form in the fall like he always does. So, and it's a tough race at Keeneland, but I think if we get a good trip, we should be right there.
The Woodford was really his coming out party last year, from being a nice Indiana bred to where he's a very nice horse, great at stakes where he just happened to be born in Indiana. How does he compare, you think, how he's doing this year versus last year?
Well,
going into this race,
I think he's doing just as well. It doesn't show on paper because he hasn't won a race since the Woodford last year, but a lot of that is the difference in running between two things. Number one, some of the trips that we've gotten haven't been the best. We've had some bad luck during some races. But number two, we're running in all graded stakes, or group stakes, a group 1 in England and grade 2s over here, grade 3s over here. Last year he was running against, leading up to this point, he was running against Indiana breds in those races at Indiana. It's understandable that his record doesn't look with all the 1s in it and 1s and 2s like last year going into this race, but I think actually physically he's doing pretty much the same this year as he was last year this time of year.
And over the summer you were inducted to the Greater Evansville Sports Hall of Fame, so talk about that.
It's just a neat thing. Obviously I'm from Evansville, it's my hometown, so it means a lot. There's a lot of local athletes in there that are, both famous ones that people would know, like Calvert Chaney and Walter McCarty and people like that. And then there's also, just people that were huge high school stars around there, or high school coaches that were longtime coaches. My old track coach, even though I never participated in track, Mr. Seiske's got inducted this year, I believe this year also. So there's a lot of people that I know that are in it. That's sort of neat, and I'm the only one that doesn't have to do with a ball that's in there. Let's put it like that. Everything else is golf, basketball, baseball, football. This is the first horse racing one that in there. So it was pretty neat. It was a nice night.